Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. We got Summer Moon before the recording. We're feeling good. We just had a little bit of a relaxer right before the recording, and I am just ready to get into the topic. Babe, what's the topic of today's episode?
So today we are actually talking about how we're preparing for in-person school and then school just in general.
Yep. For those of you who don't know, I go to UTSA and Marispo goes to St. Mary's University. So I'm going to a public university right now. Marispo is going to a private. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's like a little bit of differences in I think how we have to prepare. But for the most part, like for me, I'm not really preparing in the sense of doing any pre-studying or, looking up what it is that I'm going to be studying. Like
Yeah.
I really have no recollection of what my classes are. I completely forgot. I know I did drop a class because I had originally signed up for 5, and then I was thinking that with everything that I'm trying to take on, I think 5 classes is going to be too much. And thankfully, because I took all these AP credits and I have some other college credits from the on-ramps classes that we took in high school, I am okay to just do 4 classes a semester. I would only have to do 1 class or 1 semester of 5 classes, or a summer semester of 1 class. And I was going to do, sorry, excuse me, I'm burping. I was going to do a summer class, and I ended up not doing that. And I am glad, because I think this summer was a lot of discovery for myself, just figuring out, like, for sure solidifying that business is where I want to be at. I know that now, especially now because of this internship. I'm really enjoying it. It's really fun. I love knowing about business and how things work and SEO and all of how just, doing the little things can really boost your business. And so it's been really cool to learn about that. And I've always been a fan of math when it comes to determining like financial status in the future. And so I think this degree is right for me. I'm excited. And yeah, man, I don't even know how I got to that. I was talking about how I dropped the class. Yeah, so with everything that I'm going to be doing, I figured that it would be best to just drop a class. That way I could focus my time evenly on school and work and you and friends. And I want to be able to have time for everything and not really stress myself out too much. I don't want to spread myself too thin, essentially. And so, yeah, getting back to my original point, what I'm really preparing for school, what I'm doing to prepare for school is preparing myself mentally. I'm getting myself in that mindset of I need to go to sleep at a decent time. I need to wake up and work out at a decent time, because we've been good about working out every day. Even though we haven't gone to the gym every day, I think we've been pretty good about, if we don't go to the gym, we work out at our houses. Even if it's not as extensive as a gym workout, we still get it done. And I think we need to really kick ourselves in the butt these coming few weeks to get used to waking up early so we can start going to the gym before. Start off our day early, start off our day right, and just go into school with a healthy mindset, with a strong, work-driven mindset, so we can just get stuff done and the rest of our day isn't completely devoted to school. Because I don't want it to be like senior year again, where it's just school all the time. We have 2 hours to ourselves. Especially me personally, that's my goal. Like in the morning to the mid-afternoon is going to be school. And then the rest of the day is completely personal, whether it's spending time with you or myself or my family. That's the goal. And there's this book. We'll also get into that. We went on our Austin trip finally. And we'll get into that.
Yes, we finally marked it off
Yes.
our bucket list,
It
or
was-
one thing.
It was pretty fun. I would say so for sure. But when we went to Austin, we went to a bookstore and I picked up a book. I'm sure y'all have heard of it. It's the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I'm only 20 pages in, but so far it's pretty good, and I'm excited to read it. My goal is to get halfway through the book by the time school starts, because I'm a slow reader. I don't read much at a time, unlike Marisol, who reads 100 pages in a night.
Okay, let's calm down. It's only like 20 pages.
Nah, you kind of plot through books. It's kind of crazy.
Okay, yeah.
Compared to me. And so taking it slow, but it's a pretty good read. I think I enjoy it. There's times where I really do want to read, but I just don't see it as a priority. It's something that I'm putting to the side, that when I have a lot of free time, I'm going to sit down and put on some jazz music in my AirPods and, get it done. And so far, I'm already kind of feeling this sense of inspiration, this sense of drive. And I'm only 20 pages in, and I'm super hyped to read it through and learn about these 7 habits and hopefully incorporate them into my life. Those are the type of books that I'm really into right now. I'm not much of a fiction reader. And so, that's one way that I'm preparing for school, is reading these sort of self-help books, these self-discovery books, to learn how to find yourself, to find a good rhythm of productivity, because I thought I knew it all, or I thought I had a really good sense of productivity, and that all got washed away because of COVID. So now I'm trying to regain it, relearn, reestablish. Here I am. I mean, there's more to get into, but I don't want to keep talking. So, I mean, babe, what are you doing? What is the main goal, the overarching big picture of how you're preparing for school?
I also think that it's mentally, school is just going to be really draining. Like, I already know that, just because I'm taking 5 classes, right?
Yeah.
But I also have to prepare for the LSAT on my own. Like, there's not a specific course I can take this year because I'm only a sophomore. And at least if there are, like, I haven't found any. Like, I'm sure there's groups and stuff, but I haven't found them yet. Anyway, so I'm trying to prepare enough to the point where, even though I know I'm going to have all of this homework to do and all of these readings that I have to do, because mainly all of my classes are English classes, because that's my major. And I looked at Rate My Professor, because I was like, how are these professors going to be? Because the last 2 semesters, I didn't look at them. And I kind of went in with, like, they're all going to be chillaxed, because one of my teachers was all chillaxed.
Yeah.
And for the main part, they were, right? I got blessed with that. Like, none of them were really, like, trying too hard to intimidate us with the workload and stuff, just because of COVID. But now that we're going back in person, it's going to be a lot different. So I looked at Rate My Professor, and there's really only one professor, or no, there's 2. The first one is an English one, and I have her actually twice for 2 different classes. And I didn't mean to do that. That's just how my schedule worked out. And she gives a lot of readings and a lot of assignments. And then my other professor, I think, dang, I really forgot what he teaches. It's something with crime.
With crime?
Like, not crime specifically, but kind of in that field. Man, I don't know.
I see.
I really forgot what class I took.
Is it like social justice or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
around there. I know
there.
it's something
like,
with that.
It's around that general topic, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my throat's like super dry. But yeah, so he doesn't really teach. At least that's what I found out off of Rate My Professor.
For real?
Yeah, so it's kind of like you have to teach yourself. And now I have experience with that because of COVID.
Yeah, it was like all the classes.
Yeah, it was all the classes.
Our freshman year of college.
Yeah,
honestly.
So I feel like I'll be fine now. And who knows, maybe he changed from the last few years, because those posts were like 10 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never looked at Rate My Professor. And I've had people tell me that I should. And for me, like, I don't really care. I see it as a learning opportunity for me, as a way to diversify how I deal with certain people, because I'm not always going to get the perfect manager. Like, I've had really good managers, and I've had a little bit on the poor end, and I've had managers who are really, gung-ho, and or not even just managers, but like leaders, like in school and stuff. And it's been a learning opportunity for me to work around how to get stuff done following other people's guidelines, you know? And then it kind of helps me evolve the way that I lead. That's how I look at it. And don't get me wrong though, like I am learning. So that Texas government professor that I had the first semester of college.
Oh yeah.
I did not enjoy him. There were some people like history junkies that loved the class. You know, I think they very much had the same exact vibe as the professor, and that's why they got along so well. But for one, I didn't build a connection because I didn't go to office hours. And so then during class, there was about 200 of us. So how could I build a connection during that? The only way to build a connection was to go to office hours so that you could have some sort of one-on-one time. But I didn't want to. I probably should have because I ended up getting, I think, like a high C in that class. And, you know, it's kind of ass, but hey, I'm still sitting here with 3.5 GPA and I'm not complaining. I used to be like, oh, I'm going to graduate with a 4.0 perfect score. I'm like, nah, bro. Like, I know what I need to get done. I know what classes I got to do good in. You know, the goal is just to have a 3.5 or higher, absorb the knowledge that I need to know and get out of there. I'm trying to get into the workforce. And, no, yeah, that professor I did not enjoy his teaching style. And I really had to figure out different ways of studying. I had to study for the first time in like seriously study. Because I've studied before, but it would be like if I was studying for a test, it would be I'd show up to class 5 minutes before the bell, right? Like as soon as you were released, I'd sprint to class. That way I'd have that 5 or 3 minutes or whatever it was. And I'd study right then and there before a test. But I never did any serious studying at home. And so I had to do it for that class, and I sat down and I didn't figure out a good workflow. And so, you know, it really kicked me in the ass, and it taught me kind of what to expect from professors. They're not all going to hold your hand. And so that's kind of the mindset that I'm going in right now. I'm expecting all of my professors to not be so cooperative. That way, if they are, then it's a nice surprise. Because I did have some cooperative professors that second semester of college, of our freshman year last year. And so I'm going in right now just expecting none of them to be cooperative. And then if they are, okay, happy surprise. But if they aren't, I'm not going to be let down, and I'm going to work with it and find a way to excel in that class without, you know, having them hold my hand. So, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. I've never been on Rate My Professor. I want to check it out just to see what people have said about professors that I haven't had a positive opinion on.
Yeah. I mean, there's a mix of people. But thankfully, the professors that I did choose, not like I chose them on purpose because of Rate My Professor.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. It was just that one where it was like, oh, like you have to teach yourself. And now I feel that I'll be fine in that class just because of COVID and us having to teach ourselves for the last 2 semesters.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
But other than that, I feel like it is just mentally, I'm preparing myself for the workload of stuff that I'm going to get.
Yeah. And more than anything, too, I know I had talked about mentally getting ourselves to the point where we can wake up early, right, in these next few weeks.
Ooh,
that
yeah,
we were ready.
That's going to be a little tough.
Yeah, and going along with that, another big thing is just figuring out the schedule of my day. The first and second week is probably going to be a lot of figuring out the schedule, figuring out when things are going to happen. Because I know we're saying that, oh, we're going to get up at this time, we're going to work out at this time and go to school at this time, or we're going to stay there till this time. But we don't know how things are going to go. We don't know if certain professors are just going to be letting us out 30 minutes earlier than the class is set to be, you know, because some professors are like that. And, or, you know, what if they keep us after? Or what if, you know, we just don't know. There's so many what ifs. And those first 2 weeks are going to be crucial for us to figure out a really good day-to-day schedule. And once I have a good schedule down, I think it's going to be really easy. But for sure, that first week is going to be hectic. Not only because it is going to be new, but because we're going in person. And I personally don't know how to navigate UTSA. I don't think it's very hard.
Ooh, yeah.
But I've never gone and actually figured out what buildings are what. I mean, I didn't even know how to get to the library when that one time we went and we were driving around the parking lot for hours trying to find student parking because it was all faculty parking. I'm like, where is the student parking at? Like,
we were literally going in circles.
It was just faculty parking. I'm like, where do the students park at? And we ended up parking in the garage, and I paid like $3, which it's not that bad, but still, like, are they really gonna make me pay for $3? I have no idea where the student parking is at. And then I know you can get a parking pass, but that's also, I don't even know how much. It's probably,
I think it's like $200. At least for St. Mary's, it's $200.
Holy buckets! I hope it's not that much. Man, it's kind of ass. My tia's surrogate son, right? I guess I could put it that way.
Yeah.
I think he went to UTSA. He didn't get a parking pass. He parked at, I want to say, the apartments or somewhere down the street, and then he would walk to UTSA the rest of the way. And I'm
about to park here at Thea's house.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of a walk on that part of town too. That's kind of sus. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, her house is like right there by St. Mary's. So
it is. There's just a main street that's far.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to you. She said that you're always welcome in whenever.
I'm gonna show up at lunch, be like, "Hey, how are you doing?"
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but right now, coming in this next week, I'm going to be looking at when my classes are. Because some of them have like the times yet to be determined. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to see if they're updated, kind of figure out, okay, well, how do I want my schedule to be? How is the day going to go? Comparing my schedule to yours so we can figure out a time when we are able to hang out. And then in these coming weeks, it's going to really be about waking up earlier and earlier. Right now, I wake up about 10, sometimes 9. And there's been days recently we've been waking up a lot later. And I don't know why. We've just been so exhausted.
Yeah, but we have been, thinking back. Like, yeah. I woke up at 2 today.
Yeah, that was crazy. Oh, my gosh. I woke up at like 10:50. And I was like, shit, I woke up late again. And then I texted you. And you did not get back to me till almost 3, it felt like. Yeah, because you texted me
sorry, I was super tired.
or something. And I was like, I don't know. It was crazy to get a text that late. I was like, were you good? She's like, I just woke up. I said, what? it was pretty funny. But yeah. So waking up earlier and earlier. Right now, typically I wake up at 10. Then I'm going to work and waking up at 9. Then I'm going to push it back to 8. Then I'm going to push it back to 7. And then from there, we'll figure out, well, what time, what are we aiming to wake up at? Because I know you said I want to wake up at 5 to go to the gym by 5:15, 5:30, and then, go to school. And I think the drive is about the same for the both of us from the Y. It's a little shorter for me.
It's like a minute or 2, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot to figure out.
You can wake up at 5:02.
All right, those 2 minutes are crucial. They come in, but yeah, there's so much to figure out. Even thinking about it and talking about it right now is kind of overwhelming, just because it feels like we haven't been to school in so long.
Honestly, it's making me excited.
Really?
I haven't gone anywhere really. I've barely been on St. Mary's. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not very excited. I don't know. I've never been gung-ho about school. And
I don't know. I'm just excited to be on campus. Like, it's so pretty there, and everyone's really nice. And I don't know. Like, I'm super excited. That's the only thing. Like, I actually want to go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a little scary, though.
Why?
Just because even though, like, I know a few people, I don't have them for my classes anymore. Like, I had this girl, Abby, who I had her for 2 classes the first semester and then 1 class the second semester.
Yeah.
And we became friends, but now we have no classes together. And we almost had 1 class, but by the time I registered for it, like I literally registered a minute or 2 later, it was already filled up. So that was tough.
Damn. Yeah, it sucks. Fuck, dude. There's so much just to prepare for, I feel like. Overall, I'm just going to be using this thing called a Rocketbook. It's reusable. You wipe the pages away. That's what I'm going to be using. My laptop. Then I have my backpack. And First day of classes, I'll figure out if there's anything else I need. So that's as far as school supplies go. And then mentally preparing myself, I'm going to be reading that book, kind of self-motivating and beginning to wake up earlier. And that's really it. I mean, once school starts, it's really just going to be rolling with the punches personally. Just kind of going with the flow. Like, okay, well, let's see what happens. Okay, that worked. That didn't. Let's adjust here, you know. It is kind of exciting, but at the same, like, I'm excited because it's new.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also not excited because now I'm going to have homework and I'm going to have to go and devote, you know, a good chunk of my day to this. And it's less preferable, you know, especially because we're not getting paid for all this.
Oh my God.
We're literally paying tons. Well, I'm not paying. Thankfully, I have my dad's Hazelwood Act that I'm able to use. But, you know, it is still, you know, other people are paying. Like you're paying. And so it's a good chunk of money. And it feels like so much money. Like, I feel like these schools are robbing us.
Yeah, well, maybe you should ask my parents about that. Because they're the ones paying for my school, thankfully.
Yeah. We're in good situations right now. Like, I don't want to come off, like, smug about it or anything. Because I know I have friends who are paying for school. So, yeah, thankfully we're in a situation where we don't have to do that. But, you know, I still do feel like I am taking advantage of this opportunity that my dad gave me, you know, because I've tried to get scholarships and I have been just I don't even know at this point. I've applied to so many and I've gotten denied by all of them or just haven't got word back.
Yeah, I never get a word back. Like when I apply to them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's upsetting. But I can't help it. Like, I can't. Like the academic scholarships,
Mm-hmm.
it's to qualify for them. It was always like going into our freshman year, I was just under the mark. My SAT score just wasn't good enough, or my class rank just wasn't good enough. Because they were like, you need to be in the 1%, and I was like, fuck, seriously, dude. I think I was like in 2.5% or something like that, and like that's still pretty good. But for these academic scholarships I was trying to go for, I couldn't get them. And then there was the other ones that were like, oh, you just need a 3.5 GPA or like a 950 SAT score. And I was like, okay, like shit, I got that, you know. And like I got well above that. And then I would apply to them and then it would get denied. And they would be like, I'm sorry, you're not the candidate we're quite looking for. And I was like, what candidate are you looking for? Like, are you looking for the people with those exact scores, you know? And then what is it? I didn't qualify for the income ones.
Oh, yeah.
The income-based scholarships. Because, like, I mean, thankfully my parents make enough. But it is, like, enough to where those scholarships don't pertain to me. Because they're like, oh, your parents make enough. I'm like, well, just because my parents make enough doesn't mean that they want to pay for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I saw on St. Mary's, because I had to go in and accept or deny a loan. Because even though, thankfully, I got a scholarship from them, they're still like, oh, like you qualify for this loan. And then every semester I have to go either accept or decline it. And so I looked and then it was like, oh, St. Mary's tuition for the semester.
yeah.
And then it was like what your parents can pay, right? It didn't say parents, it said guardian, right? And it was like minus that. And it was like, so what you need to pay, right? And I was like, what? Like, thankfully my parents helped me. But if they didn't, how would I come up with that?
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's crazy. School's so expensive. I don't understand why the university is so expensive. Like, yeah, it's a large facility, and I know it costs a lot of money to keep it running, but really, what is all that money going into? It's clearly not, like, better equipment or anything, because I've seen the computers at UTSA.
Oh my God.
It's nothing to, like, brag about. I'm like, shit, all this money, and not a single cent of it has gone to improving these systems. I mean, they have some cool stuff, but shit, when we went to the library, even like the tables, I'm like, shit, can y'all get like new chairs, new tables or something? Like, where's the money going towards? I probably sound uneducated about like where exactly the money is going to. Like, I'm sure they have expenses and things that they are spending the money on, but Like recently, like UTSA was getting a ton of flack on their Twitter because I used to follow them, but I stopped following them because they would just post like random stuff, and it was honestly annoying me. I was like, what is this? Like, who's running the Twitter? And so unfollowed it. But there was this one that they posted about this outdoor classroom, and it was literally just outside of the science building, and it was just chairs and like tables. I mean, they were like art deco sort of chairs, and everybody was getting on it. They're like, I'm paying 40,000 for a year to get chairs and tables outside. I was like, I'm not finna sit outside in 90-degree heat to learn about science or whatever. And it was crazy that just, I mean, there were well over 1,000 quote tweets on this tweet that UTSA sent out, and it was hilarious to read all of them. Everybody was just dogging on UTSA.
Man, I did not see that.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, shit, I'd be upset too. Like if I signed up for a class and then it ended up being outdoors. Like what? Got these big ass buildings. I'm like, all that money could go towards just building more buildings. You know, something. Just continue to build up, or even creating an insulated areas, making some of the outside areas inside areas, you know, something. I don't know, a better canopy outside because sun still gets inside in that like outdoor court area. I don't know, there's a lot of shit that I'm like, where's all this money going towards? Because clearly it's not like going towards a lot. Like I know stuff is expensive, but it's not that expensive, man. Like,
oh my gosh,
I don't know, it's crazy. But man, shit, honestly, there wasn't much to talk about as far as preparing for school. I think we kind of covered all our bases there.
Yeah, I mean, I went school supply shopping and I got a few new pieces for my wardrobe.
Oh, yeah. Seriously, I know, you get new clothes like all the time. Like, I haven't seen you wear like any of the new clothes that you got.
Yes, I have.
You bear like a few pieces here and there.
Okay. I don't go out much. I've mainly been working. And I work in the middle of the day. Why am I going to get ready for 2 hours before I go in?
I mean, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Put your 2 weeks in. Hey, yo.
Oh, yes. I actually did that yesterday.
Yep. She's leaving Chipotle.
Decided the customers, I could not handle what they were telling me anymore.
Too much, honestly. Yeah, I know. The customers she would describe were just, I mean, evil, man. Like, why are y'all being so mean? It's just crazy to think that people can be like that.
Yeah, like the people I work with, most of them except for like one,
yeah,
are all great, right? So I love working with them because they're funny and we're all around the same age. But it mainly was just the customers. They were getting a little too rowdy for my taste, especially because we're a fast food, kind of a fast food chain.
Yeah.
It was a lot. So I put my 2 weeks in yesterday. My manager was very nice about it, asked me if I could stay. And I said I would think about it, but I talked to my parents, and the stress on top of school stress doesn't look too good. I don't feel like doing that.
Not worth it.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
So yeah, I was thinking about it for a while because the last few weeks have been bad.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, like it'll get better, blah, blah, blah. And it felt like it was not. Like every day just kept getting worse.
It seemed like it, yeah. I'd go and visit you on your break, or we'd call after your shift and you'd be like, babe, you won't believe what happened. I'm like, again? Every shift? Like, it's insane. I mean, thankfully I didn't have to deal with people like that every single shift that I went in, but it seems like that's the case with you. Like, you were dealing with somebody being rude, and it was all about the online orders. They were like, it's taking too long. Why isn't it ready? And it's like, shit. Like
there's literally 2 people.
I know.
That's it.
I don't know why you are so understaffed right now. And that's the culprit. You are understaffed. And then, just from the sounds of it, like, management ain't too hot.
I mean, most of them are.
Yeah.
It's really just one.
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah. But it's the main one I work with.
Yeah.
Man, I hope nobody listens to this.
That'd be awkward. I mean, hey, I'm
leaving already. It doesn't matter. But
yeah, it's true. I mean, you can complain about it, like poor management is poor management.
But yeah, well, I mean, most of them are great.
Yeah.
It really is just that one.
Yeah.
That one person. So it makes it harder when it's just one. I don't know, like the system doesn't flow well.
Yeah, man. I feel so bad, but I'm glad that you're gonna be leaving that place, whether you get a job or not. I mean, up to you. I know we had talked about it, like you were.
Yeah, I have enough
on the
money saved
fence.
up, so it's fine.
Yeah, and
Like,
I
I'm
mean,
chilling.
she cleans. My parents own this Airbnb, and she cleans it, and then they pay her to clean it.
Yeah, and then my parents, we have a rental property,
Yeah,
so they want me to clean that too.
yeah. So she's got her own little maid service.
Yeah, I have
going
a
on.
few little places.
Yeah, so I mean, she's still generating income, but it's not gonna be like on a bi-weekly basis.
Yeah, and that's okay. I am taking 5 classes.
Yeah, I mean, you'll figure it
So-
out. If it ends up being not so strenuous, maybe you can start job hunting, or even maybe like near the end of the semester, you can start job hunting.
Yeah, I just gotta see, because my parents didn't want me to work anyways.
Yeah,
They were like, oh, we'll just try for the summer and see what happens. And it was great. Like, I like working, and it's fun because it passes the time, and, I make money. But the customers just got too much, and I care more about my health than about a job.
yeah,
Like, I like working, and I don't want that to sound, like, rude because I'm grateful I can work. But, they were making me sick to my stomach, like, the things they were saying to me.
yeah,
So it's like, yeah, like, you may think, oh, like, it's just one customer. Well, that's how it started. Like, it was just one customer a shift or 2. And the last few weeks, it's been, like, 10 people
yeah,
a day at the same time. And it's the same questions. And then they, like, complain to you, but they also want to tell you their life story as to why I should make them more of a priority than everyone else.
yeah.
And it's like, I kind of don't want to be hearing your life story.
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid for that. And it makes me sick to have to listen to these things. And then you're also, like, attacking me because you're saying I'm not a good worker. But it's literally me and one other girl or one other employee.
Yeah.
So what do you want me to do about that? Like, I'm going as fast as I can.
Yeah, this is what we talked about last episode. Just people on this sense of entitlement.
Yeah, and I don't want us to, like, keep repeating. It's just, like, new stuff happened. So,
Yeah.
like, I was fine about it before, but the fact that they were making me sick and, like, I felt like I was going to throw up because of the stress they were causing, that's, like, too much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. That's how I felt for a time at HEB. I think I mentioned that last episode, yeah. I won't repeat it, but customers are assholes, and they definitely can be. So I'm glad you're leaving. You're going to exit that toxic environment, and, you can go full speed ahead on school, and then, we'll go from there. Play it by ear. Roll with the punches.
Exactly. And I'm trying to get a scholarship and keep my GPA where it's at because it's pretty high right now. So hopefully it all works out in the end.
Yeah. Hopefully. I think it will. I think we're good. We're
everything's
straight.
an experience. So I'm chilling with my decision.
Yeah, it was a learning experience for sure.
It was. Now I know I'm patient. But do I really want to be patient every day? No.
Yeah, that shit hurts, man. Put on the customer service voice and just act like everything's okay.
Yeah, and I still wonder, like, do I sound rude?
I don't know. I've never heard you interact with customers before, so I can't say so.
Do you want to see?
Well, it's not going to be natural right now. Because
I was just going to say my line.
Okay, go.
Okay, hold on. I got to sit up.
All right, go.
Okay, ready, guys? Ready?
All right, you ready? Oh, I got to act like I'm coming in.
Okay.
All right, I guess, yeah, you'd start. So I'd, like, roll up, about to pay. What would you say?
I totally blanked. I'm sorry.
That's what you would say?
No.
Just blank face.
Hold on.
Like,
Let me
well, shit, no
think of
wonder
what I
they were-
usually say. Sorry, what are you ordering?
Oh, okay. So I got a...
Like, did you get a bowl, a burrito?
Yeah, so I got a bowl with guac and yeah, go.
Okay. Hi, you had a chicken bowl with guac today. Can I get you any chips or drinks?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay, so is that going to be all for you today?
Yeah,
Okay, are you paying with cash or card?
it's going to be card.
Okay, your total is $11.05.
All right, cool. Appreciate it. Just put the chip in.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, you're all good to go, and your receipt's in the bag. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.
All right, bye. Have a good day.
Okay, that was it.
Crazy. Nah, there's no... You see, if that's how you do it, I don't know why people do get mad at you then. They're just upset at how nice you are. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Man, if it...
No, I say
People,
the
bro.
same few lines every time.
For real?
Yeah, I always say, oh, like, have a wonderful day, or have a great evening, or something around those lines.
Damn. Man. Yeah, honestly, it's exhausting to be really nice, like that nice, you know?
Yeah.
And
It's crazy.
I'm surprised that customers would get upset. Yeah, it is. It's probably not you. I don't think it was ever you. And it is just the customers having a bad day or just wanting to start an argument.
Yeah, it's also loud in there.
Yeah.
So that might annoy them as well. So I know there's other factors. It's not just me. But whenever they, like, complain that it is me, to me, it's kind of just like, y'all can chill.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Like, because then people think that we just have so much control over a situation when, you know, we really don't. It's like, I can't help that there's so many customers in here that we're behind, you know? Or it's not my fault that, you know, this, and that, or XYZ, whatever. It's, I mean, you know, there's some stuff where it might be the worker's fault, right? Like, maybe so at HEB, for instance, I would sometimes misscan something, or at the wash tub, I wouldn't wipe something, like a part of the car down, and they'd be like, oh, you missed that. And I'd be like, okay, that was my bad. Let me take care of that, right? But, you know, you do something with the most absolute precision. You put all your heart into it. You're super nice. And then they still find something to complain about. Like, they're just being mean to be mean. Like, they just want to get into an argument because there's nothing there to complain about, you know? And some people are just like that. Or some people just have this sense of entitlement of, like, you should have been faster. And I'm like, what? You know, like in the many instances that you were in where they were saying, like, none of it was your fault. These customers are just being mean.
No, yeah. It just, oh my gosh, yesterday, usually I'm really nice, right? Even when they're, like, being super rude. But yesterday, this lady said something, and I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I still did it in, like, a higher voice than that. Mm-hmm. But I was almost like, I'm sorry. What did you say? Because it was like,
oh my gosh,
it was a rude statement.
Really?
And it wasn't just about me. Like, it was also about the girl that was working. And she was working super hard too. So I was like, what the heck? Like, why would you say that? Like, you see, we're two teenagers. You know, she's younger than me.
Yeah.
Working as fast as we can. And I almost got upset.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. All right. Moving on.
But it was crazy. I just wanted to say, yes, I did put my 2 weeks in, leaving that toxic environment. It was only toxic because of the customers.
Yeah.
Loved everybody that I worked with. But yeah, so that is how I am getting ready for school.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Moving on from that, though. I said earlier in the episode we get into it. The Austin trip.
Yes.
Little change. It was definitely changed.
It was crazy. Just a little bit.
A little bit. All right. So we wake up, right? Get ready.
We woke up early too.
Yeah, we did. Picked you up, and we drove to Buc-ee's. Buc-ee was pretty chill. Yes. I got a sandwich. You got like a veggie cup. And the drive to Austin, there was a little bit of traffic, but it was pretty chill. We were just listening to music, vibing. And then when we got to Austin, the original plan was to eat barbecue, right? And so we looked up some barbecue places, and we went to this barbecue food truck, and they said they opened at 12. It was 1 o'clock. We show up, and they're still like unpacking stuff. And we're like, are y'all open? And they're like, oh, it's going to be about another 15 minutes. We walk around, about 10 minutes has passed, and they're still like unpacking stuff. So we end up like leaving, and we're like, shit, okay, well, we still want barbecue. So we swing by this other place, Black's Barbecue, and the line was like wrapped around the building. We're like, shit, we ain't got time for that, because we still had to get back to San Antonio to make it to our last live group. And so then we go to we were like, all right, well, one last stride. Let's go to this other barbecue place that's open, decent reviews, right?
This is the funny one.
And we pull up, and I'm like, shit, I think it's closed. And then we drive even closer. I'm like, no, that hole is closed like indefinitely.
Like they closed down.
That shit is shut down. It says we'll be back soon, but I mean the windows are broken. There's like plywood on the sides of the building.
That sign was so funny. They wrote it on the door. They were like, we'll be back soon.
I know,
and I was like, when is soon?
When? I know. Like that shit is closed. The Apple Maps was just capping. None of these places were open. Or just suitable to eat at the moment. And so
yeah, we actually ended up going to a burger place instead.
Yeah, I think it was called like Hop Dotties or something like that. It was
something
pretty
like
good.
that. It was on South Congress Avenue.
Yeah,
I think it's Avenue.
Yeah, that street with the where like it's right in front of the Capitol.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I thought there was pretty good burgers. And then we had a little small like bowl of fries that we shared.
Yeah, good thing we didn't get 2 each.
Yeah.
Or like 1 each. It would have been too much.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, after that, then we ended up going to that bookstore that I mentioned. And the bookstore, honestly, was probably my favorite part of that whole trip. It's called Book People. 2-story bookstore. It had so many genres, and in each genre, it had so many books in relation to that genre. And so Marisol got a couple books. I know y'all probably saw it on our Instagram. She posted 2 of the books that we got. My 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and then one of the other books that you got, the one that you haven't started reading yet.
Yeah, I got 2. Hold on, let me see what that other one's called.
Yeah, because she got one. It was called Beach Read. We actually saw a YouTuber that we watch, Haley Fam. She read it, and
Fam
then
Bam.
we saw
I love
it.
her.
We saw it in the bookstore, and I was like, "Hey, that's the one Haley Fam read." And then she was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "You should get it, see how it is." And yeah, it was really cool. Honestly, I wanna plow through this book even faster than I said at the beginning of the episode because I want to go back. And we said that we want to go back, like when we're ready to get new books.
We're going to Austin specifically for that bookstore because they also have a little coffee shop,
Yeah.
I think, in them.
Yeah. And oh yeah, we also did that. Before we went to the bookstore, we got coffee from another coffee shop on South Congress. And it was pretty good. They had I think it was 12 ounce. They had the small 12 ounce cups. And
Yeah.
not a lot of places have that. So it was really nice to just have a little cup of coffee. And yeah, that's when we went to Book People. And it was just, we didn't even explore all of the bookstore because we were running out of time. We had to get going.
And there were a lot of books.
Tons. And so I'm excited to go back and snag another sort of self-discovery book. And I don't know, I'm just really excited to go back, have some coffee there, get some grub, and then head back home.
Yeah, but I actually found the post.
Oh yeah.
And so the other book that I got was called The Unhoneymooners.
Unhoneymooners. Oh yeah.
Yes.
She was looking for sort of like a romantic novel or like a couple novel.
I was really into the idea of romance.
A love story.
Whenever we went. So yes.
Yeah. So we were on the eye out for that. I saw that book though, and the only reason I picked it up is because I've seen people talk about like if you're gonna read only 20 books in your life, like these are the 20 books that you should read. And I watched that video, and I don't remember any of the books, but I do remember that one because the guy on the YouTube video like talked super highly of it. It was like, I live by these 7 habits, and I'm like, shit. And a lot of people have also agreed. Like I've seen TikToks before about like books you should read before you turn 22. And I was like, 22 is such a weird number, but those were one of the books. They're like, you need to read this before you graduate college. And I was like, shit, okay. So about to read through it. I'm excited to go back to that bookstore. I feel like I'm not expressing the excitement that I felt when I entered that bookstore because I love bookstore. And it's kind of ironic because I don't really enjoy reading, but I'm trying to get into it. And I think seeing a bookstore that's as inviting and welcoming and just as cool as that one was, it makes me hyped to read. I don't know. There's just something different about going to places like that, or like a Barnes and Noble. Mm-hmm. Even though it is a chain bookstore, it's like just the vibe, especially during Christmas. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for Christmas because I want to go to the Barnes and Noble at La Cantera.
That is the one I was thinking about.
Because they're playing Christmas jazz. I love Christmas jazz.
And it's all decorated like in the front.
And it smells like Christmas.
And the Starbucks in there, they have the drinks. Oh my gosh,
yes. And I want to go kind of like, not at the beginning of the day, although either early in the morning or when it's going to nighttime. One of the two. I don't want to go in the middle of the day.
Those are the best times.
Yes. And I'm just so excited. We should do that, and then we should get a book each. And I'm just excited for Christmas. And I love bookstores that just have a really just good vibe to them, because we went to one bookstore before. It was on South Congress. Mm-hmm. And that one wasn't too hot. For one, the prices were outrageous. It was like $50 for a book. I was like, what the? And it wasn't even that interesting of a book, like just looking at it and reading the description. So I'm really glad that we ended up driving to Book People, because it was across the bridge. It was about a 10-minute drive from South Congress, but I'm glad we made that drive. Because if not, we would have gotten robbed at that other bookstore.
That's so funny.
But yeah, no, that was like the best part. But after Book People, we went back home to our last life group meeting, which was pretty cool. It was tight. Made it through a life group. Never thought I'd ever do that in my life. And so could check that off the bucket list. And here I am now, chilling. But
but if y'all ever go to Austin and y'all are on South Congress, y'all should try Little Brother's Coffee and Kolaches. I honestly thought their coffee was really good, and I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, that's the place we went to with a little 12 ounce.
It was
cool.
cute.
It was cute. It was funny too, because when we went up to go, there was one person in front of us, and then when we got in line, we were waiting, and then we started ordering, and then this fat line formed behind us.
I felt so bad.
I was like, man, that always happens to us. We always show up right before this huge line shows up, and I'm like, how does this happen? It's so weird that
it's every time we just bring in the crowd.
Right place,
I'm just
right.
kidding.
Right. Yo, I low-key felt like that too, because my family would go to restaurants, and then we'd sit down, and then all of a sudden it gets super busy.
Right, that happened to my family a lot too, and
like,
it wasn't like
happening?
Once. It was like every time we would go out.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt weird, and I was like, no way we're giving off that same vibe, that same aura. People just get attracted. Like, oh shit, they're going there.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a little dramatic.
But no, it was pretty cool. It was a pretty fun trip. A lot of change of plans. We were gonna do more. We ended up doing less, but I mean, hey, we're still young. We got plenty of opportunity to go back, which we definitely are, especially for the bookstore. So we can probably hit up the other things that we were going to do next time that we go to Book People. And yeah, overall, fun trip. When we came back, we ended up driving on a toll road because I didn't know how to get back to San Antonio. So I was using the Apple Maps.
And it took us on a toll road.
The quickest route, and I didn't look, and I should have looked, was on the toll road. And so we were driving, and I'm like, it said toll road. Hold up. What is happening? And I was like, fuck, dude, we're on a toll road.
And we don't know how toll roads work.
I know. And we were looking it up, and I was like, shit, how much are they going to charge me? And it was just...
Because they were like, oh, it's $1.13. And we were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then we were driving halfway, and it was like, wait, is it $1.13 like per mile? Because we have 50 miles that we're gonna go on.
Confused.
And we looked it up. It's actually 13 cents per mile.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was like 13 to 20 cents. So we're about to see what that rounds up to.
Yeah. What is it? I still haven't gotten. Supposedly they had like cameras out there, and then they get your license plate and your information, and then they'll send you a bill in the mail, and you're supposed to pay it by mail, right?
Yeah, well, that's what happened to my family.
Yeah.
Because I remember being little, and we were going to Mexico. And my parents were like, oh, we're going to take a toll road. And I didn't know what that was. I was like 6, right? But I remember us having to stop, and then they paid with cash. And then we would just go. And then another time, just like, I think we were going to Corpus or somewhere on the coast, right? We went on another toll road because my parents were like, oh, we're just going to go here, right? And then instead of having to pay through a booth, through cash, because my dad was like, oh, shoot, I don't know if I have cash, they just sent it in the mail.
That's crazy. Yeah, I haven't gotten it yet.
So I'm not too sure.
Hope I never get it. Maybe the cameras were down while we were driving. No, yeah, we never ran into like any station or anything. I think we were on it for about 47 miles. And then we got off, and here we are now, chilling. But yeah, I've been checking the mail every day.
Oh my goodness.
Please only be like $10. Some shit like that.
I mean, we calculated it. At the end, it was only like 13.
I thought it was 18.
No. Well, yeah. I was looking at the sign.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know which like exit it was talking about.
It's not going to be a lot of money, but it is still kind of like, fuck, dude. I already have to pay for gas. I got to pay for driving on this damn road. But yeah, so shame on you, Apple Maps. Shame on you.
Well, you don't got to pay for all of the gas.
Oh, yeah. You gave me $10. So I was like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah. Like, I didn't know how much it was to fill up a gas tank.
Yeah. My parents got back from Oklahoma, and my mom didn't close the door. There it is.
Okay, she was trying. That door's hard to close.
Parents just got back from Oklahoma. Sorry for the cut there, guys. they came in, they started knocking, and I was like, what? And we just got quiet.
Your dad, I could hear him. He was like, no, we're not home. Never mind.
No, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This episode is honestly, all of our episodes and these past few episodes have kind of been all over the place. But I've kind of enjoyed it. Just letting the conversation go where it goes. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good place to close it out. What do you think, babe? Anything else to add?
Yeah, I think we're good. Maybe we'll throw in other ways that we're preparing for school in the next episode, because it will be closer by then. But yeah, for now, this is all we're doing. And I think for the most part, we stayed on track.
For the most part, yeah. All right. Well, remember to follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at livewithjm pod, all lowercase. And in all of our social media profiles, you can find the link to our shows as well as our podcast website. Again, thanks for tuning in, guys. And we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.